it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Oh, yes. First 3 points of the season. Aston Villa 2, West Ham 1. Oh, my goodness. Great getting away win first day of the season. And it was written in the stars. John header, Duran. John head the ball. Duran comes on and scores to put us 2-1 up and to ultimately win the game. That was an enjoyable watch from an Aston Villa point of view. And what I mean by that is I enjoyed how we played for a lot of that game, considering that a lot of people were, and at times, myself included, were a small bit miffed at how we played in preseason. It goes to show that preseason is there for a reason. It's there to implement certain pieces and to, I suppose, to gain fitness. That's what Villa did very much so, utilised preseason for that, because Villa played completely different today. They were a lot more fluid. They were a lot more composed. Having Martinez there, having Konza at centre half with Pau Torres. I thought Pau Torres was a completely transformed centre half today, having that stability around him. I thought the back four were really good, or the back six that played today. I thought they were really good. A lot of people I see on Twitter were very down on Cash for a lot of the game. I'm not going to tell people what I think they want to hear. I genuinely think Cash had a fine game. The penalty decision, last year, VAR rules that out. VAR's reasoning for giving that penalty today was nonsense. That he didn't mean to play the ball, absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. VAR. I'm going to do a paddy on this. That's a joke shop from John Brooks. You know, the whole, like, non-Villa fans, non-Villa, if you want to call them celebrities, we're all asking the same question. How the name of Jesus do you say something like that? And what makes it even worse is that, you know, you've Jamie Redknapp in the studio, and I'm not here to call out pundits. I'm here to say it as it is. Jamie Redknapp trying to excuse a poor decision. Alan Smith said that it wasn't a penalty, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, well, you know, you have to. Essentially, what he said, I can't remember exactly what it was, but the paraphrase it was, you got to save the referee's feelings or keep the referee confident early in the season. What is that about? I don't know. That's all I want to say on VAR today. It was a stupid, if you're going to check for everything, you need to check for everything. And you can't turn around and say that he didn't mean to get a touch to the ball when there's clear deviation. Clear deviation. It's not even like as if they're using one of those, what was it, the snickometer or something they used in some games in the Euros, where you could see if there was noise. There was a clear deviation of the ball. Anyway, less said about it, the better. It was the only proper touch packet I got in the ball all day. I thought he was absolutely stonewall useless, and Onana had him in his pocket. And talking about Amadou Onana, what a towering header to put us 1-0 up after 4 minutes. That's how you introduce yourself to a club. And I thought he was really impressive today. I thought he held his position really well in the middle midfield. He's a big, imposing character. And I thought his job was to stop Paqueta. I thought he did a really, really good job on him today. Himself and Tielemans, I thought, played well. I was actually surprised Tielemans lasted the 90 minutes from a fitness point of view. So fair play to him. I really expected Barkley to come on there at some stage to give him a bit of respite. Tielemans gets the assist for which goal did he get an assist for again? Was it? Must have been the Onana goal. Because he took the corner. Sorry, yeah, silly me. He took the corner for the Onana goal, and I thought he played really well as well today. There isn't anyone I thought was particularly poor. John McGinn was given a thankless role today, I thought. He was given a really thankless role. He was asked to marshal that whole left-hand side, and it was tough going because he was also covering for anybody who went forward. So I think he's kind of that Swiss Army knife. Now, he was taken off. I thought it was probably the right decision to take him off at that stage. But I think we're going to see a different role for John McGinn from the point of view, John McGinn, should I say, from the point of view that he's not going to get as many touches of the ball. He's not going to have, in away games, he's not going to have that amount of freedom. But what he is going to be needed to do is to absolutely work himself to the bone. And I think he did that today, and he was obviously taken off, and Jacob Ramsey comes on, and Jacob Ramsey looked really, really good when he came on as well. Himself and Maatsen looked good together. For the second goal, Maatsen was calling for that ball, and he gotten forward right. He'd spotted that the winger wasn't tracking back. He gotten forward and made sure that the right back had to either tuck inside or had to engage him. Pau Torres plays a lovely ball out to him. He gets in and around, plays with JJ Ramsey. Ball goes into John Duran and absolutely smacks it. Was it? I don't know. I can't remember, did it go through Areola's legs? But anyway, there was no saving it from Areola. And brilliant work from those guys down that left hand side. And as I say, 3 substitutes combining to score the goal. We mentioned before the game, myself and Paddy, that we wanted subs to affect the game. We now have a bench that we can bring players on and affect the game. They did. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Sorry, I was getting messages left, right, and centre. I thought Paddy might want to come on. Our subs came on and affected the game in a massive positive way. You obviously have. I thought Philogene Bedes was good. Yes, thought he could have done a small bit more on the ball, but we got him back. We were getting a small bit opened up by Kudos at that stage, and Philogene seemed to have a small bit more in defence about him, I think, than Leon Bailey. Now, Leon Bailey being on a yellow card, I would 100% expect him not to be diving into tackles or lunging, and he couldn't. And Kudos was beginning to get the upper hand on that their left-hand side or right-hand side. Philogene comes on, he's able to put a foot in a small bit more, slow him down a bit. And I think for the last 10 minutes, obviously Kudos then moves over onto the right-hand side. Somerville comes over, and then Philogene then as Somerville to deal with. And that might have just happened just before Bailey was taken off. But I think that was a mistake from West Ham, was to move Kudos over there, because they seemed to be getting a lot of joy. When Kudos went over at that side, felt we marshalled him probably a small bit better. And they still went to their left-hand side or right-hand side. But overall, I think massive positive results. We had so many chances. You have the Bailey chance that comes off the butt of the post. You have the Ollie Watkins chance where I still don't know why he doesn't take a shot there, and he kind of just runs it into Areola's arms. You have the John Duran chance that hits the side netting. You have the John McGinn chance that just goes wide. So this wasn't a smash and grab by any means of the word. Villa were well and truly they were good for that win today. They were good for that win today. Villa were there 15 shots to West Ham's 14. If possession was more or less 50-50, well, it's 51-49 to be honest. Villa were well good for that win today, and there was times there when I thought the commentary were kind of it was kind of suggesting that Villa were hanging on, and while yes, West Ham were attacking quite a lot, Villa were quite I felt that we were quite measured in an awful lot of things we did. Yes, at the very end, Souček comes in, and we have Ezri Konsa there as the block one off the line with his chest, and then has to throw his body at it, and Souček puts it over the bar. And we have Debu save from the header from Danny Ings as well. But teams are going to have chances, against Aston Villa. We conceded 70 goals last year. They conceded 74. I think the commentator said, we come away from this game today, yes, having conceded a goal, but got a goal from a penalty, and a dubious penalty at that. I think from a defensive point of view, we did pretty well today. I think you're going to have to soak up pressure, specifically when you're away from home, and it's not a negative to do that. provided that that you're able to soak up that pressure. So, and hindsight is 2020 when you look at things like that, and that's something that I think Unai Emery would be most proud of. I'm looking forward to hearing what he says, although I probably won't see it here, but I will. I'll look back on it afterwards. Looking here at I was very surprised, really, with one or two little things. Obviously, Ollie Watkins, I think, look, he's just back, so I'm not like there's no negative in that. But found it difficult to get into the game. I think he'd only about 15 touches in the whole game. John Duran comes on. Obviously, the team is a bit more tired. West Ham are a bit more tired, so he's able to affect the game an awful lot more. I love that. But what I liked was, our midfield, something that carried on from last year was our midfield weren't afraid to have a shot. When we look at the shooting numbers, we've Onana's header. Obviously, you want to consider that a header. You've Tielemans had 2 shots in the game. Bailey had 3 shots in the game. Rodgers 2 shots. Rodgers had another one that he could have scored. He had a bit of an open goal situation there and couldn't quite get the ball to fall for him correctly. And then you have John McGinn having 2 shots as well. So shots from midfield are very, very important. Also, you Ramsey come on and have a shot, and Jadon Philogene come on and have a shot as well. So it's really important that we have those shots from midfield, because there will be games whereby our striker will be isolated slightly, and it's up to them to just make sure that when the ball comes up to him, we have an opportunity to win that second ball, to win that knockdown, to win that to have an opportunity to get possession high up the field. And I thought Ollie Watkins did that, and I think John Duran did it a bit better when he came on against the more tired defense. I'm just looking at some of your comments there. Eyes Wide Shut asks, why have you changed it? The final whistle pod, post-match pod sounds so much better. Because we go directly at the final whistle. That's the only reason why. That's literally it. I can change it back to post-match pod if you want. The only reason I did it was because we go directly at the final whistle. I think I did it all last year as well. I'm not 100% sure. But just answer that one for you. Where else are we here? Thanks so much to Paul O'Neill for becoming a member for 7 months. I didn't even know we had membership up for that long, but thank you so much, Paul. It means an awful lot. Jason O'Brien makes a good point here that some players won't be sharp until October. Well, I hope they're sharp before October, but definitely I think that's something that will ring true. Obviously, with the players who've been away, who haven't had an awful lot of game time together, the likes of Ollie Watkins and even John Duran. You notice there, Matson, all those players. It'll be great to see those in a couple more months or a couple more weeks. As I see Amadou Onana gets man of the match. Who do you guys think would be man of the match? Do you want to pop it in the comments there? I would say Onana probably has a very good show to be a man of the match. Actually, I thought he had a very good debut for Villa. So pop those on in the comments there. Philly D says, one of the toughest away games we've faced, and we won. Happy days. Absolutely. We haven't won there since 2011. Is it 2010-2011 season or the 2011-2012 season? I can't remember which one it is, but so another Unai Emery hex that he has defeated, which is brilliant to see. Absolutely. We go to London, we get more points again. And that's definitely one to savor, I think. Standing on the word says here, on another day we've been out of sight in the first half with the chances we had. Absolutely. I think if Bailey had his chance back again, I think he would have tried to go over Kilman into the other corner. But Kilman's positioning was really good there. But I think that, if he had his time back, he'd want to take that one a different way. John McGinn obviously curling one around the post as well. And I think that, I'm not sure, was there another one as well. Where else are we here? Oh wow, Villa final game of my 5-leg multi for $10,000. That'll pay for a trip from Oz to the Champions. Holy shite, Ryan Hodgson. Excellent. Congratulations, my friend. Absolutely congratulations there. That is incredible. Well done, John Duran. Stand him a drink behind the Aston Social or wherever you come to Witten Arms or wherever you are when you're over, because that is incredible. That's actually made my day to see that. Look, we can condone betting or we can condemn betting all we want, but we have a guy here who might be coming from us because of that game today. Well done. Absolutely excellent stuff, Ryan Hodgson. I'm actually made up for you, and I've never met you before. So fair play to you. That's absolutely brilliant. Let's see who we're talking about for the match down here as well. Where are we? Did anyone pop in any man of the matches? Ad says Onana looked wonderful next to Tielemans. It'll be hard to break up that duo. It will be hard to break up that duo on today's viewing as well. Maatsen was class. I agree. What I loved about Maatsen was, and by the way, he keeps getting smaller every time I see him play, which is fine. I have no problem with it. Hey, come here. I'm the leader of the small men's union, but he's got wicked pace, and he really kind of pushed back Soufal, because Soufal was coming forward on that right hand side quite a lot, and he really pushed him back. And exciting. There's a reason you pay 32.5 million for a left back, and we got glimpses of it there today as well, for sure. Amadou Onana, I'm just looking here, had the highest passing accuracy, highest amount of duels. Yeah, he statistically he was absolutely excellent as well today. Not just excellent on the eye, too. Rob Finnegan says he was nervous going into the season. Should never have doubted the Sultan. I'll admit, I wasn't so much nervous. I was kind of. It's funny, like we should know what this team is inside out, but there was a part of me that was like, there are a few unknowns here, and that's okay too. That's okay. At the start of every season, you're going to have unknowns. Like we came out of the first game of the season last year having a ton of unknowns. There was way more questions than answers came out of the first game of the season against Newcastle last year. And I'm sure after we play Arsenal, after we play, is it Leicester after that? I can't remember. After maybe September, we may have more answers or we may have more questions than we have answers. And that's okay too. There's a reason why the year is 38 games, and this is a fantastic start. And I think Unai Emery will be rubbing his hands with glee all the way back on the bus tonight, going, I've had one today. I've had a good game today, and I've done the right thing today, because his substitutes really affected the game. And yeah, this is one he might be able to chalk up to this is a me game. I affected this game, and that's why we won. And fair play to him, because that's what good managers do, and he does it more often than not. So excellent stuff from manager and from players today. Where are we? Bring on the Arsenal. A lot of people are saying games. Dan says bring on the Arsenal. Jason is saying Onana. Duncan Kilburn saying Tielemans man of the match. Games Don is saying Rodgers man of the match as well. I thought Rodgers was good. I thought he was good. Yeah. I wouldn't have had him in man of the match territory. I was trying to think was there anything that he maybe did that kind of annoyed me? No, I thought he was good. I thought he was nice and solid. I thought he's a great carrier of the ball through the middle again. His height is really good in defending and in attack as well. You can see he makes a nuisance of himself. So yeah. Rodgers, I thought everybody had a good game today. So fair play to him. Rob says Onana as well. Narita says Pau Torres was absolutely ridiculous. I thought Pau Torres was a much changed defender today, much maligned in pre-season by a lot of people, and that's okay too, because there were some times when he was poor. I gave him stick for not clearing the ball into Rose Ed against Dortmund. I thought he was a completely different beast today. I thought he was really good. He was striding out of defence. There was a time where he took on the whole lot of the team, ended up on the edge of the area and went for a shot, and then stayed up there to try and get the second ball again. So his confidence was sky high as well. Sky high. I think that goes without saying. Lots of Onanas or Tielemans. Yeah, I think that axis there of Onana and Tielemans was really good today. Yeah, really good today. And it should be, because they know each other inside out, playing for Belgium, and we saw it today, which was really smart of Unai to put it in there. when there could have been temptation to put McGinn in there. He sacrificed McGinn, put him out on the left-hand side, and it worked. It worked really, really well. Yeah, a couple of people saying that Cash was excellent. I thought Cash was really good. Yeah, I genuinely, I have no massive negatives. Look, was he under pressure at times? He was, but that's because of good West Ham play. I thought he was really good. There was one misheader that he had, but then the misheader he had in the second half, and then he had an absolute worldie of a block. There was 3 West Ham players around him when they played it forward again, and he was the guy who got his head to it and cleared the danger away. And that would have definitely been at least a 2-on-1 situation, a 2 on the goalkeeper situation for West Ham. So fair play to him for that. It was an errant header from him in the start. I thought Cash was grand today. I really did. Then again, I'm not as down on Cash as some people are, and that's fine. Look, I've no problem with people who have a different opinion. I'm not here to try and convince anybody that Cash was maybe better than you feel he was. I'm just here to kind of call it like I see it. I thought he was grand today. He was under pressure, really was. I think a lot of that was down to Leon Bailey picking up an early yellow card, and you can't really do that when you've defending to do. And it was a silly one. He pulls back Kudos in his own half, gets the yellow card, and the commentator mentioned it at the time. You don't really need to do that this time in the game, and I don't think he did. But it affected him from a defensive point of view then afterwards. And I think Kudos knew that in the second half, and that's why I'm really certain actually they moved him over onto the right hand side before Bailey was taken off. And I was surprised that maybe that they did that at the time. So yeah, very good stuff there. Where else are we? It was a real Unai ball game today at times, wasn't it? Picking up that second ball, making sure we're there, making ourselves nuisances. Our high pressing was quite good. Maybe we didn't win it back all the time. Eliminating Onana or eliminating Paqueta from the game was absolutely paramount. I'm watching the penalty here again. Even in real time, it's not a penalty. It was slowed down there. You can see it. He gets a touch to the ball, and then they come together afterwards. Look, VAR can have all the interpretations that they want, and they may very well be right, but until someone spells it out in law that Matty Cash doesn't get a touch to the ball there, I must be blind. In other words, I must be blind to the law or blind to the game. But I'd love to know what Jamie Carragher is saying here, because Jamie Redknapp is saying here, because seems like he's very much defending the referee. Just looking at his body language. But anyway, we'll see. I'm sure someone else will be able to tell me otherwise. Where are we here? A lot of people, great love for Matt's in there as well. I think, yeah, look, yeah, and excellent. So you reminded me on that one. Kostin Nedeljkovic could have been an easier one to say, but Kostin Nedeljkovic becomes villain number 1,000. The 1,000th player in our history. That's pretty cool. As I say, could have been someone a bit easier to pronounce and to spell. If you are ever at a pub quiz and the question is who was Villa's 1,000th ever player, the stipulation should be the answer is only accepted if it's spelled correctly. That'll be a pub quiz question for the years to come, I think. And it should be, because I think you catch an awful lot of people not being able to spell it. I don't even know if I spelled it right there. I certainly can't spell it right. And congratulations to the young man. He was under pressure as well when he came on, and couldn't get forward. Had to get back for a block at one stage, but they were laying siege to our left hand side throughout the whole lot of the second half, and he had to stand up to some pressure there as well, guys. Apologies, I completely forgot about this. Matt Hanlon, thank you so much. Point for podcaster. Onana looked amazing and team looked good. Thank you so much for that. Paul O'Neill, thank you so much. I mentioned that again. Member for 7 months. Paul Miller, member for 6 months. Thought that second would never come. Me too as well. Eyes Wide Shut, thanks a million. Still the best podcast ever for me, even if I preferred the old post-match pod. I can go back to it. There was absolutely no reason why I changed it to the Final Whistle pod. It makes no bones to me, which do you know what? I'll call it the Final Whistle post-match pod. That's what we'll call it. And then there can be no ambiguity with regards to what it is. But thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. And if I'm not mistaken as well, I forgot to mention it in the team sheet tantrum. Melty shirts as well donated 10 subs to the channel as well. Thanks so much, everybody. All those little bits and pieces keep us on the air, so to say. Pay for the whatever needs to be paid for every month with regards to the streaming software and all that kind of jazz. So thanks so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. We're always going to be free. We're not going to go behind the paywall or anything like that, but any little bits and pieces that you guys give us really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much for that. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate that. I don't know how much more I can talk on my own. Usually when Paddy's here, I've got something to bounce off him, but it's days like today that you do miss Paddy, because I'd love to be able to podcast for another hour and a half, but I think I'm going to wrap it up on this one. I am going to watch this one again tonight. I kind of want to delve into maybe doing some sort of tactical setup on how we looked in midfield, because I thought midfield looked a bit different this year than it did last year. But time permitting, I might try and come back on maybe later, maybe tomorrow and do that. But I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much to everybody as always for joining me today. I think the Claret and Blue were going at the same time today, and those guys I'm sure have absolutely brilliant insight as well. So go and watch those guys after this. If you guys are still here, should I say, could you please click on the thumbs up and please share this out. If you're on Twitter as well, repost it. That would be absolutely brilliant. Repost it with a comment would be absolutely brilliant as well. And follow us on Twitter too. I think we reached over 10,000 followers on Twitter, which is absolutely bonkers to think of that. So thank you once again to everybody, and thank you to Aston Villa Football Club for putting me in an absolute worldie of a mood for the rest of the afternoon. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Thank you so much once again to everybody. Thank you to Amadou and Anna. Thank you to John Duran. Thank you to Unai Emery. We'll be back. Might even be back tomorrow, I think, with another podcast. There's potentially somebody joining me tomorrow. So stay tuned to all the social media for that. And hope you have a brilliant rest of your afternoon. And all that's left to say is, up the Villa.